You know how I talk about the intelligence conglomerate? Well, this is a conglomerate between the United States government and its intelligence agencies, specifically the CIA and DARPA, in close cooperation with the Danish and British and their intelligence agencies. Well, if you don't know, you should know that there's a little falling out between the Danish government and the American government over Greenland, because Denmark, who has done everything the United States government has asked of it for decades, even having this global social engineering experiment running on Danish soil, controlled by the CIA and the likes. And because Denmark's not willing to sell Greenland, which Denmark has already given the United States unlimited access to Greenland under defense agreements from way back when, so the United States had pretty much a free reign over Greenland, but that's not enough, and Denmark won't just sell it. So there's a conflict between the conglomerate. I don't think it's so much in regards to the intelligence agencies, because the Danish intelligence agency PET is like just a lackey of the CIA. They have no sovereignty whatsoever, just like Denmark really has no sovereignty. But on this subject matter rather, they have shown a bit of backbone. So there's a bit of a split in the intelligence conglomerate, or at least a cooperation between these governments, and which puts me in a even more precarious situation. I could easily turn around and just blame Denmark for everything that goes on in the global social engineering program, and highlight how the cruel and unusual treatment, this torturous treatment of me, Stephen Bell, that goes on is Denmark's doing, and only Denmark. And I would most definitely get a lot of traction by the Trump administration, who would use that and use it against the Danish government, and say, look how the Danish government is treating their civilians just like they treat the Greenlandic people this way. And they would make a whole, and I would get everybody on board with this, the whole fake alternative media. But obviously I'm not some weasel. I know who's behind the social engineering experiment. I know Denmark doesn't have these technologies, and certainly not operating them without the help of American satellites and whatnot. So while I could get some traction for a short while, and I could influence Denmark or influence an outcome through this situation, the global social engineering experiment, not because of myself, but because of the situation I'm in, and how I could leverage that towards the Trump administration picking it up and blaming the Danish government and intelligence agencies for what the CIA is actually doing. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, because it would be false, it would be fraudulent, and it would go against Denmark's interests, which I'm not interested in, despite the Danish government and to a large extent the Danish population treat me like utter dog shit, like a third-class citizen, all on behest of intelligence. So I would many people would probably understand why I could do such a thing, but obviously I'm not going to do that, because that at the end of the day is not who I am. So I'm obviously just going to continue calling out things that I see, and for doing so honestly, and hope that people sooner rather than later see that the United States government and their actions, or what they get their satellite states like Denmark to do, is never really in the interest of the host countries.